Hello summoners and welcome back to Mobalytics, where today we have a brand new video series that we're going to be doing for you guys and with you guys about the tier list. Right now for the tier list videos, we do have the tier list and then we also have the tier list Q&A, but I wasn't necessarily satisfied with just doing the Q&A. I also wanted a bit more in-game application, so this is where this video will come from. In this video, we will be going over Jungle Ekko. This is something that we've seen personally, and we've even seen in some of our ranked games, as well as some high elo players giving it a try. I recently saw Mike Young playing this in the jungle as well. This was something that none of us had personally played outside of looking at the statistics, so we wanted to give it a go and see what we thought. Jungle Ekko has currently been moving between B and A tier on our tier list, currently sitting at B tier, so in this video let's talk about him, give him a try and play out his gameplay, and then we will give an analysis and a conclusion at the end to see how he truly plays out and what he deserves. Firstly, we'll always start with the Rune Choices. You want to go for Dark Harvest into the sorcery page. Dark Harvest feels great on Ekko. Even with the changes, seems still pretty darn good. You can go into lanes, and once they get below half HP, you can easily get a gank off and find a kill. When it comes to his early game, Ekko was pretty darn good, actually surprising to me. It surprised me how well he can gank. I guess because he has a long range W to engage and you have pretty good base damage, you can go in and gank and pop that Dark Harvest for good burst potential. Do whatever you can to gank other lanes, and when your Dark Harvest is up, look to invade the enemy jungler if you are able to proc it. Lane ganking is also something that is a bit more effective than I even imagined. Of course, this has to do with his E and his W being able to be used from long range to engage. On top of that, your E having a 2-dash thing where you can just dash to the backline as well means that you can easily get into range and gank. Just a couple of tips for clearing in the early game. Because you take a Hunter's Talisman, you can use the Raptor healing trick. Now this isn't just unique to Ekko. Basically what you want to do is just use your Q to hit the small raptors and use the Hunter's Talisman healing to sustain yourself back through the jungle. You can also do this simultaneously while farming red buff, and again, this isn't actually unique to Ekko, so make sure you check out other junglers who can do this. Amumu is a fantastic example with your W as a champion that can do this as well. Finally, controlling Crab will be important, and it's easy for Ekko to do Crab. Obviously, because he's not a standard jungler, one of his issues is that sometimes your clear can be a little bit unhealthy, and sometimes you do go a little bit out of mana, so clearing a camp that is not harming you is important. The only issue is that some other junglers will be stronger skirmishes in the early game than you, things like Lee Sin or Nidalee, so watch out for those, but if you're able to hit your W on the crab, you can take it pretty quickly. One of Ekko's major weaknesses in the game is that he really needs to scale up in order to be a great champion. There's never been a problem with Ekko after 2 to 3 items, even 1 item can be fine in certain matchups, but he's always had a somewhat weak early game. While it's true that you could always solo kill your opponent now and then, most of the time the way Ekko's play, especially in the higher ranks, is just pushing the wave with Q over and over again, then looking to roam. You're not a very interactive lane champion. Not only was I able to get multiple killing sprees and scale up to be a late game beast, I just found that it was easy to pick up kills due to how fast you are and how effective you are as being an assassin, running around the map and picking up spare kills. Playing Jungle Ekko is somewhat similar to playing Kha'Zix for me. If you've ever played Kha'Zix, it somehow just feels like you just get 15 kills some games. You just randomly, all of a sudden, have 15 kills, and you didn't have to think too hard about how you got all of those kills. I felt that naturally playing Ekko Jungle. It was a nice progression from farming, ganking, and then getting fed. I felt it was very consistent at what it did, and that was the big surprise to me. With these videos, I would always like to finish off with a conclusion, so after testing it myself, talking it over and playing it with Adam and Hewitt as well, trying to go through and see what we thought after we gave it a test, we'll give you a final conclusion. For this one, Ekko Jungle seems to be A tier, I think, for me. I think I would move him up 1 spot on the tier list from B into A. After playing this for several games, the only true weaknesses that I felt were that you could be outskilled or outjungled by really good jungle players and hardcore junglers, things like Lee Sin, Nidalee, Graves, the ones who will invade you. These matchups could be a nightmare for you. One big advantage that could be overlooked is bringing AP damage from the jungle. Typically, junglers these days are mostly AD, aside from Evelynn, Elise, and some other things that are here and there pretty good, Gragas, stuff like that. Rarely do you see AP junglers in this day and age, so bringing that from the jungle position is very nice. Good damage, surprisingly good ganking, decent jungle clear if you use our tips when it comes to the Hunter's Talisman and you clear the right camps, and overall a solid champion. I don't think it's OP, but it is very, very good. Alright, so this has been our first tier list pick breakdown for Jungle Ekko. Let us know in the comment section down below, both in this video and in the next tier list, who you would like to see in our next breakdown video. Thanks for watching, and use the product at mobalytics.gg.